Hi there, my name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where I take a look at the lectionary text and I tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree or the junk drawer or the kids' room or the garage. That is how I've been doing it. Thank you for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. Thank you for your partnership in this ministry, and most importantly, thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You, my friend, are rocking it. Now, I have a kind of a commercial announcement, if you will. This might relate to some of you and might not relate to others. But I have written Advent devotional, Ground Floor Grace, and the reason I say it might appeal to some of you and might not is that I use the Revised Common Lectionary for it, and so I have copies that you can order. The printed copies are $10 a copy, or I have the PDFs, which are $5 a copy. I'm doing also a thing where if you make a donation to the Dollar Store Children's Sermons and say, "Hey, I'd like a copy, a PDF copy of the Advent devotional," I will send it your way. I think it's a great devotional. I mean, I'm biased. I wrote it, but I really like it, and I think it would be useful for your own personal journey through Advent. So I throw that out there. If for some reason during Advent you guys are moving to the RCL to do that journey, and you wanted to use the Advent devotional, the PDF for the congregation, I have a sliding scale for that. I would just ask that if you make a donation and I send you the PDF, to use it for your personal use and not for the entire congregation, because there's ways to do that to do the rights. Anyway, but that's that commercial announcement. Back to the narrative lectionary. All right, so I'm looking at, of course, we are looking at Elijah and God speaking to Elijah in the silence, in the still voice. And so the quiet, still voice, or the silence. And so I've done this before, and if you look back, you'd see it, but it's one of my favorite ways to do a children's sermon on this, about listening for God. And sometimes there's so much noise around us. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, all you have to do is listen to the listen to the fluorescent lights, and there's noise when they go off, and that so much noise in the sense of being listening to the quiet. Tangent. A number of years ago, Rob Bell put out the Pneuma series, and in the Pneuma series, he has one on silence, and it's completely silent, and it's kind of disconcerting. It makes you feel nervous because there's it's just silence. Yeah. Think about movies where there isn't a background track. I'm thinking of Unbreakable, one of the Bruce Willis and I think Knight, the director and writer, I think. But anyway, in that movie, there is no background music. And if you've watched the movie and you're like, I can't figure out why this feels so strange, they don't have a music track in the background. Silence. So, a sense of there can be power in silence. So I've said so quite a bit. I will be silent with the so. Either at the Dollar Tree or the dollar store, they've got Handclappers, those little things where you hold and you we use those we give those to our kids when we do our processional for Palm Sunday. They have the clappers, and they clap, 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 and there's a lot of noise. So if you've got access to those, if you're Dollar Tree or that, sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. There's that, where you can have the clappers, or you have where you're going to have your congregation make thunder, which is perfect for the story. So hands on the knees, and the congregation and the kids are going to make thunder. And then what you're going to do is they're making thunder, and when you do this, like a conductor, they stop. And it's asking the kids in the congregation to pay attention to the feeling right after it stops. And there's that moment There's that moment of silence, the moment of stillness. And to me, it feels holy. It feels like God shows up in a special way. And we believe that God is present in, with, and under, and through us, and in the body of Christ. Christ is present, God is present, and we believe there are places that we notice God more. We call them the thin places. That if you've heard that phrase, the thin place between the separation between heaven and earth become very thin. But there's all of these things. But that's the direction about it, that leaning into. And Elijah heard God in the small still voice, in the silence, and that. And when the entire congregation's doing this, it's amazing. The rain and it's thunder and Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You, my friend, are rocking it. We'll see you next week.